Hello, and welcome to the WWIA podcast. We're honored to have you join us in our mission to bring honor, connection, and healing to America's combat wounded Purple Heart heroes. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, we welcome you. If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. Please be sure to tell others about our podcast and leave us a review if you're enjoying what you're hearing. The world-class outdoor sporting adventures that our combat wounded veterans participate in would not be possible without the generosity and support of our event hosts. We have a remarkable team of WWIA event hosts across North America who work with their local communities, friends, and businesses to honor and serve our Purple Heart heroes throughout each year. These hosts do this voluntarily, rallying support, resources, and coordinating their community base because they want to give back, to recognize and thank America's combat wounded veterans for their tremendous service and sacrifice. Our event hosts are a critical part of what we do, and we could not be more grateful to have them as part of our WWIA team and family. Today, WWIA Founder and CEO John McDaniel is honored to introduce you to one of our valued event hosts, Mr. Andy Wilson. Andy is the host of the Great Creek Hunt Club events in beautiful Alberta, Virginia. Great Creek Hunt Club proudly hosts 2 events per year, a turkey hunt in the spring and a deer hunt in the fall. This will be their 12th year of hosting the deer hunt and their 8th year of hosting the turkey hunt. Andy was born and raised just outside of Richmond, Virginia, and has been married to his beautiful wife, Abigail, for 17 years. They have 2 amazing daughters, Kinley, who's about to turn 10, and the youngest, Aniston, who just turned 7. Whether it's hunting, fishing, riding 4-wheelers, or checking trail cameras, they both love spending time with Andy in the great outdoors. Andy has hunted at the Great Creek Hunt Club since he was old enough to carry a gun. His grandfather and friends started the hunt club back in 1965. It's where Andy says his best hunting memories have been made, and it's still thriving today. It's a special place to get away and commune with nature, and the hunting in this area is exceptional. Having the opportunity to hunt with some of the same people for over 30 years has been a tremendous privilege, and the members of the Great Creek Hunt Club are honored to be able to host these events in honor and recognition of America's Purple Heart heroes. This is a great episode, so let's jump into the conversation with John and Andy now.
Hi, I'm John McDaniel, founder and CEO of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and this is our podcast, Honor, Connect, Heal. Well, it's today I have another special guest with me, and I guess, Andy, what'd you say? We met like 12 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, probably 12, 13 years ago.
10, 12 years ago. 12 or 13.
Somewhere in there.
So Andy Wilson is with us. Yeah, Andy Wilson is with us on the program. Hailing from Virginia, and he's been helping the foundation out with his team doing deer hunts and turkey hunts in Virginia, right?
Yep.
Right now, where exactly in Virginia are you?
So the club itself is located in Alberta, Virginia. It's about an hour south of Richmond.
Yeah. And we were talking in the pre-show about, where we first met. And both of our memories are a little bit shaggy, but 12 years ago, on an event, it was probably a brief meeting. I don't think we went out and, and drank any beers or anything like that, which would not be necessarily uncommon back in those days. But anyway, yeah. So welcome to the program, and tell us, Andy, about your mission and what's going on. How this whole thing started, and kind of bring us up to date, because I think it started out just as a deer hunt, and then you guys added a turkey event, didn't you?
We did. So it started out as a deer hunt, and it actually started the time that reference that you and I kind of met down there in Carolina. I got invited to go guide a turkey hunt with a buddy of mine. His organization was running it at the time, and I got to meet Tim Spence, who's an associate. And I met you as well. And I just started kind of brainstorming, thinking, I was like, hey, this would be something awesome that our club, the Great Creek, could do. Just a way to give back. So I ran it by the club, our organization, and of course, I brought it to you guys and filled out the application. We received our first deer hunt, and then we did a couple deer hunts, and then I was like, man, my passion, I love the turkey hunt. I would rather turkey hunt than deer hunt. I was like, I want to do a turkey hunt as well. So probably a couple years went by, we added the turkey hunt as well, and since then, I think we're close to 20 events total now, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, thanks for all you do, man. I mean, it takes a village, right? I mean, I'm sure that I remember the Great Creek Hunt Club, and if my memory serves me proper, and just a bunch of great guys, and it was a great club, and I think it's a really good fit for us. But tell me about your team. I mean, that's how I love to always hear about guys' teams, people's teams that are supporting this, because it's you might be the guy in charge and the leader of the event or the events, but there's always a great team behind you, right? So tell us about your team.
So obviously, yeah, my name's on the event, but it takes so many people between. I mean, it's different people for the deer hunt, different people for the turkey hunt. It takes a village. I mean, it really does. So for the deer hunt, man, a lot of individuals. We have a member of our club, Mike Tripp. He is always Johnny on the spot for us, whether it's picking guys up from the airport, getting dinners and stuff that first night, getting people down. Because like I say, we're about an hour south of Richmond, so he drives them and brings them in. Mike has been, I mean, probably the most important piece for me in the club itself to helping us out. But between Mike, landowners, we have landowners that don't normally allow us to hunt their land, but when we run the event, hey, they don't allow anybody to hunt really. And when we run the event, they're like, hey, y'all have access. Y'all come on and hunt. So, Miss Williams, Irvin Jr., they are all in on the event. For us, obviously we're a little different deer hunt wise because we dog hunt. We're a dog hunting club. So for me, I mean, we have all our dog drivers, all our dog handlers, the guys that, run their dogs. I mean, they're taking off work to do the event. I mean, they're sacrificing their time, to come in for the event. We have a couple guys that come from a club next to us that they take away from their own hunt club to come help our event out. Obviously the dog guys, the individuals who take stands with our heroes. They're sacrificing their time as well, to help out, because 99% of these guys have never dog hunted. So for them, it's something new, and they're kind of walking through, telling them everything, what to expect, what to do. So those guys are a huge asset to us. Then we have several people who live in the community that live down there. Dwayne Hawthorne, he's actually our club president. He's got a house down there that he allows us to stay at. Him and Dee Whitaker own that house, so they allow us to stay at the house, which is awesome, because the setting is it's back in the woods. It's in the middle of nowhere. You don't have anything else. Like, you can just relax, unwind. Roger Engelking is a huge one, because we stayed at his house for years before he actually moved down there. I mean, his house was way back. It was actually my family's house way back in the day, and he's fixed it up and is living there. So
really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We still hunt, like, the land that we have was my grandfather's family's land. So for me, it's a lot of history involved in it. But all those guys, from people who cook food, cook dinner, we couldn't do it without them. I mean, the turkey hunt obviously is a completely different event, because we've mixed in a little fishing with it. So we'll have guys that bring boats down to go fishing that don't even turkey hunt. But for the turkey hunt,
right,
we same thing. We have the landowners allow us to use their land, which is awesome, because we've always been very successful there with the turkey hunt. Like I said, Miss Williams again, and Irvin Jr. has been Irvin Moore Jr. is his full name. They've been awesome about it. My dad is a men's group from church. Every event they come down, whether it's Friday afternoon, they bring lunch to the guys. It's about 7 or 8 of his group from church that come in, and it's pretty awesome. So like I say, it takes a huge team.
That's cool.
And like I say, my name's on the event, but it's far from me. It's everybody associated with Great Creek. It's members of the community. It's, my dad's church group. It's amazing the amount of support that we get.
Yeah. Well, what's amazing about the foundation, a lot of these activities that we do, events as we call them, is you have these communities that are now that otherwise communities within communities, adjacent communities, neighbors, start to pour in on something like you mentioned. Hey, you guys can use our land on this on that weekend, no problem. They probably wouldn't let their some of them won't let their brothers hunt on it, but when they find out that our nation's combat wounded, are coming to enjoy a weekend of hunting, they open up the doors and the access to their property and their facilities. It's really amazing. So thanks for sharing that story. It's the same thing with me, like at Camp Hackett. It started very small, and then it just every year that the ring kept expanding. More people would get in on this thing, and it just added to the richness of the event, and it brought the community together. It strengthened the community and has there's a bonding agent, if you will, that brings everybody together, and it's this common cause. It's pretty neat, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me. So tell me, Andy, about what happens because if you said you were going to run dogs on deer in Wisconsin, you'd find yourself in jail really quickly. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so it's like sacrilege in some places.
It is.
Like I never heard. Yeah, and it's a sensitive topic, and it can be. I've hound hunted before, not for deer, but I've hound hunted before for cats, big cats and this kind of thing, and for coon, I've actually been part of. I wasn't the hunter, but I've been part of dog hunts that involved bear, up in British Columbia. So I'm not an anti by any means. It's just a little unorthodox when you come from a traditional, stand hunter or still hunter.
Well, yeah.
This idea of loosen the dogs on deer. But let's talk about that, because I'm sure there are people out there that are interested in knowing how this works. And so if you would, explain that to us, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, Virginia, since I started hunting, since even obviously way before me, our club started in 1965. So we've been running dogs for them. Down here, it's been a way of life. Obviously, it's always been a hot topic, if you must. But basically the way it works is, you mentioned Wisconsin. You guys probably do man drives, where you have standers and you have pushers.
Yeah.
Something very similar. What we'll do is, as a group and organization, we meet up every morning. We look and say, okay, we got, X amount of guys, X amount of dog guys. We're going to go hunt whatever block we decide to hunt. And the way we do it is we try to surround it safely, just like you would in a man drive. We have our standards set, and then we have our dog drivers that will take and walk their dogs, hike their dogs in the woods. They'll, jump a deer, cut a track, whatever it is. And they're pushing the deer, by the standards, is the way it is. So we try to, obviously, people don't think there's a lot of strategy involved in it, but there is, we try to have our standards at, the best routes, the best crossings. If we think a deer's going to cross a creek a certain place, like, we want to make sure we have a standard there. So there is, you can't just walk into the woods and say, I'm going to go stand here and I'm going to kill one with a dog running it. Like, you have to be truly a good woodsman. You're crossing, you read your sign, you can kind of figure it out, which way is the wind, the wind blowing that day. And a lot of it could be the dog too, whatever dog is pushing it, of how fast the deer might, get out of there, whether It'd be a walker running it maybe a little bit faster, a beagle maybe a little bit slower, whatever it is. So there's a lot of strategy involved. And I think that's been the awesome thing about our deer hunt is, like I say, 99% of the guys have never done it. I think we've had two people that I can recall in the 10, 11 years of deer hunts. So, 40 some people that we've had have come in, and only 2 of them have ever done it. And every one of them have walked away with a new appreciation of it and kind of seeing how we did it. Like, it's kind of great because you're meeting with your buddies, so in the morning you're joking, you're messing around. Okay, hey, we're gonna get serious. We're gonna go hunt. At the end of the day, hey, we're gonna get together. We're gonna come back. If we kill some deer, we're gonna skin some deer. We're gonna clean some deer. Eat a little dinner, whatever it is. So it's great because there's a lot of camaraderie involved in it. And for us, it's like, it's been a way of life. Dog hunting got me into hunting. My grandfather did it. He was never really he never bow hunted. He was never, because we have a season, bow season, the black powder. He never really did any of that until me and my brother kind of started hunting with him. So if it wasn't for dog hunting, who knows if I ever got into hunting? I don't know. Maybe eventually at some point, but it's what got me in the woods. So like I say, down here, it is a way of life. You take, dog guys, they are some of the most dedicated.
They're dedicated.
They're very dedicated. They're not just, they want to make sure their dogs are, in shape. They're running. Those guys are, they put up a lot of time and money. They sacrifice a lot. So it's, like I say, it's awesome. It's a way of life. If nobody's ever done it, I always suggest doing it. Like, don't knock it till you try it, kind of thing. We feel like the way we do it has always been, like I said, we've been around since 1965, and our community around us, everybody knows us. We got good relationships with them, so it's not like we're, I know sometimes people feel dog hunting, people can kind of trample on their land. Like, that's not how we do things. It's not how it works with us. So it's a great time. It really is.
In my mind, I try to think through, what might this event that I'm getting ready to do, what might this be like, and as I think about it, I'm like envisioning myself standing in a location where I've got good fields of fire, and I can hear the dogs coming. And so I'm tuned up and I'm ready to take a shot, but then this deer comes by me at Mach 4 and I don't get a shot because he's on a dead sprint. I'm like, wow, that was fun. We're all trained, as a stand hunter or as a deer hunter, the least most preferred shot. Like, I won't even take a shot at a deer that's running. I've never taken a shot unless, I should say, not say never, but, I've taken that first shot, and then as the deer is running away, of course, if I've got a good shot, I'll take a second or perhaps even a third shot. But, so I would imagine that probably, I'm guessing, but the high percentage of those shots, the guys that are, deer hunting with dogs, with you guys, are taking shots at deer that are moving, right? They're probably not standing still.
Yeah, it really depends on where they're at, and we kind of learned, through the first, probably our second event. We kind of set them up in some places where the deer were moving. It was a big, wide open field. Deer were crossing it, and the shots were a little bit. They were moving a little faster, and we kind of said, you know what, we got to do a little bit better. We got to take them down into the woods on some of these crossings, like whether it's a creek crossing or whatnot. I would say 50% of them are probably running. A lot of them, the deer might just be tipping through the woods, because the other thing is, some of these deer we kill are what we call slipping deer. So you might have, a dog or a pack of dogs running 2 or 3 deer, and you might have a deer that got up and slipped away from them. And one of the standards, it comes, trying to slip out of the hunt. And so it's just sneaking, it's just tipping through the woods. So it's probably a 50-50, but the way we've tried to do it is say, okay, hey, let's make these shots where it's, 40, 50 yards or less. We don't, obviously, we want high percentage shots is what we want. Like I said, we kind of learned on the second year that we did the event, those guys, man, we had deer crossing this field, and they shot a lot, and it's not easy shooting if you're not used to it by any means.
Right.
So we said, okay, you know what, like in the woods, we're going in the woods on these crossings, and it's, like I say, it's probably 50-50. Some are running, some are still, but you got some guys that get used to it, and next thing you know, they're making some shots that are incredible that they never thought they could make. And of course, it's shotguns and buckshot. That's what we're using. So it's, we're not using.
So you got to be close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be close. It really, ideally, 40 yards, 50 yards or less is what we try to do.
Right. It's like bow hunting. It's up close and personal.
100%. That's right. So that's right.
Right. Cool. All right. So what kind of dogs are these guys running?
So most of what we have are walkers, and walkers and beagles is what we have. So we'll have a little bit long-legged dog, and we'll have a beagle, a shorter-legged beagle, and they run a little different. A walker is going to be a little bit faster. Obviously, long-legged dog. A beagle is going to be a little bit slower, but known to have a better nose. So. It's not that they're any. It really depends on the dog guy of what their preference is. Of what they like. They like a little bit faster. They like a little bit slower, or a better nose, whatever. So it's mainly just walker and beagles is what we run.
You said you think the beagles have a better nose.
Oh yeah, by far. My opinion, by far.
Definitely.
So,
by far. Really.
You can see where a walker
a little more deliberate.
Yeah, a walker will kind of wind the deer as it's running. So it's not, if a deer's across one certain spot, he might be 10, 15 yards off the track because he's winding it. Where a beagle will have his nose right there where that deer ran, and he'll run right on the track of where it is. Right. He won't be off it; he'll be right on it. So definitely a better nose, right? My opinion. Some people
reporting and reporting the whole time, right?
Yeah, I mean, both of them, like say, if they're absolutely. If they're on a deer and they're running, they're going to give mouth. You're going to hear them coming.
Yeah, right on. So, I'm curious if you wanted to take your deer dog and go coon hunting, could you do it, or are these dogs just like they're ate up from the ground up with deer? What's going on there?
Yeah, so I mean, most of the deer dogs, like, they might get off and run a coyote track, or they'll even get on a bear and run a bear. But yeah, we try not to. If they're a deer dog, we're going to run deer with them. We're not going to mess with them on a coon or anything else like that. Like, they're going to be strictly a deer dog, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And you guys also, we were saying in the pre-show, you were talking to me about how you started on a turkey hunt 8 years ago, and so now you're doing 2 events there at the Great Creek. But you're a turkey guy, so tell me how that's going. I mean, I love turkey hunting, and I love to talk to guys who love to turkey hunt, because there's nothing else like that. I mean, there really isn't. That moment when that gobbler's coming in, and he's coming in, and then he presents himself, and maybe in full strut, and you're really close to him, and there's that moment of truth. I mean, there is nothing like that, in my opinion. And you're a turkey hunter. Tell us about that part of your operation.
So that part of the operation, like, obviously way different than the deer hunt, the way we do things. It's not normally as big as a group as during our deer hunt, but I have, what I consider some of the best turkey hunters around, between my brother Neil, guy Chris Bond, a gentleman by Major Ball, Will Morgan, David Chris, his brother Jordan. These guys are, extremely knowledgeable. I mean, we're going out before the season and we're listening. We're looking for sign. But the way our turkey hunt works is, we'll generally take, for each hero, we'll have 2 guys with them. And the way we try to do it is obviously one guy, depending on their level of hunting experience, if they've turkey hunted a ton, or not hunted a whole lot. We'll usually have a guy sit with them close by to kind of walk them through, the situation, and we'll have a guy behind them calling.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of them, we have 4 or 5 guys that will ride around and listen in the morning, first thing, and try to hear a bird, get a bird gobbling, and we're talking to each other. Hey, if nobody's on a bird, hey, y'all come over here. I got a bird gobbling over here. So it really, that one, it's like 10 of us. It might be 4 guys hunting, but it's 10 of us that are trying to find birds for everybody else. And I would say, in all honesty, our success rate with the turkey hunt is phenomenal. I mean, I never would have thought. I mean, my goal was always, if we kill 2 birds an event, I think that's a great weekend. But we're having weekends and events
Sure.
where 4 or 5. I mean, I think 5 or 6 might be our most, but we've killed 4 or 5 several times, and it's, like I say, it's my passion just because it's one-on-one with the bird. But man, I always contribute that to the knowledge of the guys, the guides who are taking our heroes, and just how good they are at what they do. I mean, they're extremely incredible. I mean, as big as I am of a turkey hunter, they're even bigger. So it's awesome.
I think I got a pot call from you guys, a slate call years and years ago. I think I did. I do. I have it in my collection. I should have dusted it off this morning and brought it in. Way back. Actually, yeah. I know you. I know you did. I treasure it. It's sitting at home in my collection. That's right. You sent it to me, I think.
I actually just got the one from you guys, the box call that has like the turkey wing up top. Like, that thing's pretty awesome. I told my brother, I showed it to him, and I said, man,
Trent McCall made that.
Yeah, I got the card with it, which I really appreciate that, and you guys sending that. But I told him, I was like, I don't know if I want to try to call one in with it and then retire it, or if I just want to put it in. Like, I'm a big turkey call. I like collections, of them, and I'm like, I don't know if I just want to retire it right away, or I want to try to call one in with it first, just give it a little, to try it out. So I appreciate that.
I think Trent would want you to. Yeah, I think he'd want you to try to
well, since he wants that, look, use days,
dust off it.
Use days in 2 weeks, so I'll try it out with my daughter, trying to get her on one.
There you go. Did you get a piece of chalk with it too? I think we tried to do that.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a pretty special call, and everybody, every person that makes a call has got a way of doing it, and I used to have it so it was like this, when the feather's towards you, or the working end is towards you. That's how I've always worked it. And Trent said that with that one, you should be using it where it's away from you, where that cock feather, the end of it, the quill, if you will, is away from you.
Okay.
And I mean, I was like, wow, I was glad I asked that question. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, you know what it sounds like, what it should sound like. And the interesting thing about turkey hunting, biologically speaking, well, there's a lot of things that are interesting about it, but it was put to me once upon a time by a gentleman who had a lot of experience. Was explaining to me, what's actually happening out there in nature. And when you start to study the turkey, and you realize that these toms, have a brood essentially of hens, and they're gobbling, and the hens naturally, go towards the gobbler. I mean, they're attracted to his sound, his acrobatics, and what you're trying to do in turkey hunting is reverse nature, essentially pull him away from his hens and get him close to you, which is really not the way it happens, like in nature. So if you get him, to entice him to come to you, you've really accomplished something. I always thought that was cool.
Oh yeah. That's always it's the challenge of it, for sure. Then you get that one stubborn that'll hang up for no reason. It won't move in, and just where he's where he wants to be that day. That's what makes it fun. I don't
That's
ever
right.
feel like they're going to do the same thing 2 days in a row. It's always something different.
No, it is. Yeah, I always refer to him as the smartest dumb bird on the planet because one moment you'll see him do something that it just blows you away. Like I can't crack the code on this dude, man. And he's just hung up. I just can't get him,
Yeah.
Or you got everything you think is perfect and he spots something you don't like and he's gone.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're done. He's done. You're done for the day with that guy. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
And he's picked out something that's not right. They're masterful with their eyesight in being able to determine, well, of course, motion, of course, that'll kill you. But also I've learned that if something's out of whack, like it just doesn't look right to him, he's not coming,
Oh, yeah.
and so I don't care how good of a caller you are, he's you've spooked him to the point where he's not coming. And then on the other side of the coin, I've had him come in where you got two really nice toms, a couple of jakes, whatever, and they're coming in on your decoy. And I'm like, okay, get ready. And the guys I'm with, he's all ready, and I could take him when you want, and he shoots the turkey, and the turkey's on the ground flopping around. He ain't going anywhere. And the others don't even leave. They just like go over and start kicking his ass. They're like, he was the big shot of the, now they're taking their turn at him and they're working him over right in front of you. And a shotgun just went off. You're like, I just spent 30 minutes bringing you in here, all quiet and like whatnot. Now I just killed your buddy, and all you want to do is pummel his ass. It's just, I always just, I don't know. I always just get such a hoot out of that bird, man.
Oh yeah, it's crazy when they do it. Well, I always tell people, like, you can be the best caller in the world, but if you ain't where he wants to be, you ain't gonna kill him. So that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. If everybody could see the smile on your face, that's because you get excited about it. Only sportsmen who've been there and done that, get that smile on their face. So I can appreciate that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, tell me, Andy, you've been doing this now for quite a while, 13 years or so, which is incredible. And I want to make sure that I thank you personally and your entire, community of support. Hopefully you get a chance to share this with them and they can, enjoy this podcast. But I want to thank them. And it's the little things that count. It's like your dad in his church group making lunches and showing up. I can imagine that whoever made those lunches that morning, put extra care into making sure that the sandwiches were right, and maybe there was an apple in the bag, and maybe a treat or something like that. And or maybe they went to the local diner and they enlisted the support of a local diner that they've known, the guy who owns the thing for 30 years. They're going to be going in there and getting coffee, and this guy made the sandwiches, just by way of example. And it's always the little things, in life that make such a big difference. And I want to thank all of your community and the people that are making these events happen, because they're really the unsung heroes. And many hands make for light work. And when you are surrounding these combat wounded veterans with people and communities who genuinely care about their well-being, who appreciate what they did for this country in some far off land, in some scary, dark place, so that we could enjoy the freedoms that we have in this great country, as they were defending freedom in some dark corner of the globe. And now they're back home and everything has changed. And here they come to a little place in Virginia, in Alberta, Virginia. And, that's a unique culture right there. I mean, it is. And many of them might not ever have had the opportunity to meet a Virginian, or to hunt with dogs, or to hunt turkeys on this beautiful property of yours and this beautiful club, and that's what makes it special, because they get there and they're having an experience that they otherwise would never have with people they would otherwise never know. and on terrain they would otherwise never get to walk or enjoy. So I want to thank everybody in your community, and I got to give a shout out also, to the folks that help, support and fund, this very important mission. And so thanks to everybody for all that you've done to help make this be a very special event for our heroes, because I can guarantee you that they're walking away from this event and they're going back to their homes, getting on planes or getting back in their car and driving home. And I'm sure that you've given them memories for a lifetime. So thank you, Andy, and your entire extended community for helping, make this happen for so many consecutive years. And I'm sure you've got some stories, something that maybe you want to share with us in the audience about, some of your experiences with the wounded veterans. You guys wouldn't be doing it year after year if it didn't mean something to you. So the question to you is, on behalf of your team, what's it mean to you?
I mean, to me, it sounds bad to say, but words can't describe what it means, because I've always said I've done the event, and we've done the event just as a way to show our appreciation to those who have sacrificed so much. Let's face it, we wouldn't be able to have the freedoms we have without them, without the sacrifices they've made, for their country, for everybody. So for us, it really means everything. We love, obviously the giving back. And I always kind of said is, I don't have, it sounds bad, I don't have anything to give you but a passion for the outdoors, right? If I can take a guy one day and me and him turkey hunt and we connect, and I give him a passion for the outdoors, and that's a way for him to trying to get out and get away and maybe get a new hobby, bring some other joy to his life, whatever, then I've done what I feel like, I kind of set out to do. Even if it's getting away for a weekend, fishing, hunting, whatever it is. I think everybody at the club and everybody who helps out, from my dad to the members of the community, all of them, it's just a simple way of saying thank you for everything you've done, everything you've gone through, the sacrifices you've made. So, for us, it's just, it means the world to us that we can help out and do everything for sure.
I was just I'm writing this down because it's a great quote. Just let me finish this here. This is what you said. You said, I don't have anything to give you other than my passion for the outdoors. And that's just one of the best quotes I've ever heard. That's really good, man. And that's true. When I, as the original host, if you will, and I still run this event up in northern Wisconsin at our camp every year, and it's like, man, if I had to knuckle it down to one thing, at the very bare roots of what can I do, what am I doing, and what can I do for this event? It really boils down to just that. I can really, the most meaningful thing I can give you or share with you is my passion for what we're about to go do.
Absolutely.
And that right there, man, that hits hard, and because that's why you're doing it. And some of them, a lot of these amazing men and women, they don't have it because they've never seen it. Like, they don't have that passion because they've never experienced it. They've never been around people that, have that to give. And this might be their first opportunity, or you might be setting a standard for them to see and feel what it's like to be around somebody that has that level of passion for that particular thing. And then once you've been successful at it and you've seen it and you've experienced it, now you want more of that. And that's contagious. The enthusiasm is contagious. passion for something is contagious. So that's great. That's really a great way of saying it, and I appreciate you sharing that, Andy.
Not a problem. I always, I think
Yeah, that's great, man.
For me, from the first event we had, I think I looked at it and went about it the wrong way. I was more worried about the success of the harvest of the kill. So I was too caught up in that, like the first event. And then I realized from that first event that, the harvest was that was icing on the cake. It was everything else, the comments.
That's like a byproduct.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, you get you get a little piece of the testimonials and see, and hardly ever does somebody mention the harvest. Hey, I was able to take my first deer, my first turkey. Like everything that's mentioned is,
right.
The individuals that help out, like what it meant to them outside of the harvest. So, I mean, for me, like I say, I say the first event I went about it the wrong way just because I was so worried about, the harvest to kill. And, that's what kind of, actually, So,
yeah.
But.
Well, to that point, and again, there may be a future host out there that's listening to this and says, I think I'd like to do that, but for those people that are worried about the results, like how many ducks did we kill or how many deer did we kill, I always say that's incidental. Hey, we brought them together to go do this thing, and they're going to go out there and they're going to do it. But at the end of the day, these guys, when they start telling the story about what happened, well, when they get back to their family or when they write their testimonial, like it's almost forgotten whether or not, or rarely is it mentioned that they shot a deer or got a duck or killed a turkey. It's always about, if you read the testimonials on the website, I think there's 1,600 of them, that we've collected over the past 18 years. And, we've digitized all of them. They're all handwritten, notes and all these journals across the country. But they all have a similar theme, and it all starts with, thank you. Thank you for what you did for me this weekend. The chow was amazing. The people are phenomenal. You made me feel like, like I was part of your family. You made me feel like what I did for our country was valued. I was lost, and you guys helped, redirect me. I've made friends for life. You've read it and you've heard them and you've seen it, and that's what it is, man. It's like now they have a place and a connection, a common connection to people that they just met. Americans that they just met. And they were together on a weekend, but it was all good. It was a safe place. You welcomed them. There's lots of camaraderie. There's lots of honor. There's lots of connections, and hence there's also a lot of healing. Now that healing might not take place right there and then, but and we're not talking about the clinical type of healing. It's non-clinical. It's this idea of helping restore the psyche. It's about helping them to feel good about what they did, what they had to go do, what they did, and it was appreciated, right? And this is an expression. This is a collective expression of our appreciation for what they did while they were wearing a uniform. Full stop. And you guys are doing great with that, man. And I want to thank you for making it such a special event.
Well, we certainly appreciate the opportunity and everything. So it's been a blast for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any really cool, like any stories or something you want to share with us? Any highlight? Because some of the highlights are things that you're like, you can't make it up, man. I mean, I don't want to sit here and tell stories, but if we were sitting together, if we were sitting around a fire and had a glass of brown water in our hands or something, I think that we could tell some stories. Now they're all hilarious and they're all so impactful, but they always involve a soldier or a Marine or somebody doing something that really, stood out? Do you have anything like that you'd like to share with us?
Man, I got two that when I started thinking about it kind of stood out. And the first one is just a funny. This kind of shows you the personality of the individual. But Peter, and I would butcher his last name, so I'm not going to say it. But Peter was from Australia. He was in the Australian Army. I came over here, joined the Army here, but he came up here when I want to say it was our very first turkey hunt. And I remember our phone conversation because I call all the heroes, prior to them coming in, just to, set expectations, ask them questions, whatever. And I was like, hey, man, you got any questions? He was like, well, do you have snakes up there? And I said, well, yeah, we do. Black snake copperhead, the odds of you seeing one, I mean, slim to none. You'll probably be okay. And my thinking was like, man, he's scared of it or whatever, he's got, something going on. Like he just doesn't want to be around it. He's going to take off and run if he sees it or something. But the very first night we just met everybody and we go out and we go to roost turkeys, and somehow he goes with another one of our members of the club. Somehow they come across a copperhead. Of course, poison snake up here in Virginia. And I don't know what they did, but it
serious viper. Serious pit viper.
I don't know the whole story, but somehow they wanted to play a joke on me, and they contemplated what they wanted to do, but the snake ended up in my turkey decoy bag the next morning. So we go to get out the truck and hunting, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is this in my bag? Well, daggone if that snake's not in my bag. And I flip it upside down, and here comes a snake. Keep in mind, this is like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm standing by the truck getting ready to walk into the woods, and here comes a snake flopping out my bag. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me, man. But right then I knew I could tell Peter's personality, and the guy was awesome, incredible guy. And a day later, I actually called in a bird for him. It was actually probably one of the cooler turkey hunts I've ever had. He ended up killing a turkey. And the next day, what happens, me and him walk up on a black snake as well. So the guy who asked about him, we hardly see him. For some reason, finds two snakes that weekend. So I don't know if he's some sort of snake whisperer or what, but it was just a funny story because he, trying to play the trick on me, just met him, that day and trying to play a joke on me, which I thought was pretty fun and pretty cool. But, the second story was
I love
it. The second story, and this is what kind of, I guess, changed my mindset a little bit about, when I talk about like the harvest and how these guys really truly, when they come in, they root for each other. They're wanting them to, hey man, like, what'd you see? Did you kill? Like, and usually when they kill a deer, they all want to be involved in it. And this kind of started with Tim Spence and Daniel Newman was one of our first guys. He was the first deer hunt event that we had, and me and Daniel were on a stand, and I never forget. Tim calls me, and Tim had shot a pretty nice buck, and Tim had dog hunted before, so he was on a stand by himself, and he says, "Hey, this is what happened. The deer kind of ran this way. We want to try to get." Sometimes if we maybe try to get a dog on it, whatever. And I said, well, hey, we might come down there. They give me a minute. And I looked at Daniel, and I had given Daniel the option because, on our deer hunt, if our dog hunt kind of fizzles out by 3:30 or something, we'll go still hunt. I said, hey, you want me to take you still hunting, or do you want to go over here and look for Tim's deer? And without hesitation, Daniel's like, I want to go look for Tim's deer. Like, he wanted to be a part of it, and that just kind of showed me. And Graham, we never found it. Tim, a really nice 8-pointer he killed, and just the excitement that Daniel had for, like I say, somebody he had just met 2 days prior, and you could tell it meant so much to him, to be there with Tim and everything. That's what kind of changed my mindset of like, okay, like these guys, how they were around each other, how they were rooting for each other, was pretty awesome. So, those are the two stories that really stuck out to me. And like I say, Tim, we still see Tim all the time. So we still talk about that hunt and that day, to this day. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Timmy's a great American, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for him and our friendship. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think you and I wouldn't be talking, for starters.
Probably not. Yeah.
But
Probably
Tim
not.
Spence is, he's just a great American, and has done, he's one of our guides, and one of our senior guides. And, he certainly has, paved the way for a lot of heroes, and has done a lot to advance this cause. And I appreciate you sharing that story, because, and as you were telling, the snake story made me laugh, because I won't tell my snake story, but I have a similar experience in my past that just brought a smile to my face with snakes. But this idea of asking a hero, what would you rather do? Would you rather go still hunting, with me, or would you rather go help Timmy find his buck? And he, without hesitation, says, I want to go help Tim find his buck. And it's because, like you said, like you aptly put, they want to help each other. It's all about that friendship, and that teamwork, that idea of helping your brother out. Because how many times have we been alone out there trying to do something by yourself, and whether you're successful or not, it's amplified when you have somebody supporting you in the field. Like, hey, I have a wounded animal. I can't tell you how many times I got up in the middle of the night after spending, till way past dark looking for something, and then just couldn't sleep, and said, you know what, I'm going back out there. You're doing what? I'm like, I'm going back out there, and so that's what I do. I go back out there in the middle of the night, with the bear, the wolves, that doesn't matter, the rain, the sleet, the snow, I'm ate up with it. But, when you have somebody who will choose to do that and be with his brother that he just met, versus doing something for himself, that's a powerful story right there. And I appreciate you sharing that. And that's the good stuff, right? That's the stuff that you can't make up. That's the stuff that you experience when you're out there, that makes it so meaningful and so powerful. These experiences that we have, it's everything in between the lines, right? It's the spaces in between the notes, if you will. It's those pauses in between, the notes that make that make the music, if you will, so interesting. And so I appreciate you sharing that with me, Andy. That's a great story. Those are a couple of great stories.
Yeah, and like I say, we could spend all day talking about them, but we got a pile of them. You doing events for 10, 12 years, whatever it is, you get a bunch of stories, but those are the ones that stuck out to me the most, for sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, I wish you and your team all the best moving forward. I thank you and praise you for your work. It is a lot of work. And I know you guys rearrange your schedules every year for it, and you carve out some space in your personal life to help these heroes. And it means the world to them, and it certainly means the world to me. And I want to again, recognize you for all that you've done, and thank you, and wish you guys all the best. And we're here for you if you ever need anything. We're a phone call away.
Well, we certainly appreciate the opportunity that we've been given, and we enjoy every event, everything. You guys are first class. From everybody in the organization, from Karina to you to David, to every associate we've ever had. Everybody has been first class. I've always said it would be awesome to get an event with just all the associates we've had, just to reconnect with some of them. And it would be fun to do at some point in the future. But we certainly appreciate everything. Like I say, the opportunity, it means the world to us, and we look forward to a bunch more events for sure.
Yeah, and I almost forgot. I got to give a plug in here to the Fort Myers thrift store in Fort Myers, Virginia. It's a small little postage stamp post, Army post. And I think it's joint today where there's, more than just Army guys there. But, they do, the little thrift store there does collects money and resources, and then they give grants. And one of the grants that they have given us for many years, we write it every year. We just got done writing it again, requesting funding support for your activity and for all Virginian soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marine Purple Heart recipients. And that grant helps fund your operation and helps fund getting Purple Heart recipients from the great state of Virginia out to our events. So to the Fort Myer Thrift Store, thank you for all your continued support through the years. You're enabling this great activity. And we're going to share this with them so that maybe they can get a better snapshot of what it looks like and feels like to be part of your mission. And you've done a great job with that, Andy. Thank you.
Well, we certainly appreciate it. I forgot to mention one person, and if I don't, she'll probably, if she listens to this, she's probably going to call me and get on me. But April Woody and her brother Mike Woody from Bon Air Exteriors here in Chesterfield. Every year they pay for the license of the guys, and I just want to make sure I made note for their donation every year, both events. So April and Mike, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, April and Mike. God bless you. All right, buddy. Listen, fair winds and following seas. Go out there and get them, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Keep being you and leading from the keep leading from the front, buddy. That's what it's all about.
Well, I do appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity and everything. So it's been awesome.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Good luck to you.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the WWIA podcast. To learn more about the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation and how you can get involved, please visit our website at WWIAF.org or follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you'd like to comment or offer feedback about our podcast, or if you have a suggestion for a future episode, please email us at podcast@WWIAF.org. Thank you for your support and for helping us honor, connect, and heal our combat wounded Purple Heart heroes through the power of the great outdoors.